What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title that just dropped on Steam called Era 1, in which you're building a modular space station that you then move around a system to fight with enemies and mine resources and things of that nature. So I figure this will probably be interesting. I'm always down for anything that has me building big battle fleets, or anything that has like a Sins of the Solar Empire vibe, or anything that's kind of homeworldy. So I figure we'll check it out today, do some first impressions for about 30 minutes, and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or one of those things you would rather pass on. If after watching this you wanted to get Era 1 for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. The game's currently in early access and light on content, but I did like what I played so far. On top of that, you can also take a look down there and find a bunch of spicy links to other Nerd Castle avenues where you can hang out if you choose to do so. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight on in. For right now, there is no multiplayer, there is no campaign. As far as I can tell, there's just a bunch of different maps in which you can kind of like battle with AIs. But we'll just take the default map for right now, we'll go up against the CPU, and we'll kind of see how this whole thing plays out. Arriving at our destination, spoiler alert, it's a bunch of space rocks. That's it, that's all that's out here. I'm just kidding, there's other like space stations and things of that nature. But welcome to our deployment. This right here is our home base. Everything here is like modular, and there's like little Lego attachments to the whole thing, and you'll kind of see how that goes in just a minute. They're deploying at the moment all of our harvesters, which are these little industrial looking guys out here, and then a couple of scouts that can fly throughout the system and hopefully help us find anything useful out there that's going to make our lives a little bit easier. For right now, I'll probably tell this guy to come over here, and then maybe, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to face kind of that way. There we go. Bring this guy on over, rotate him on in, because I want to be as close to these asteroids as I possibly can be for harvesting in just a minute. And as you can see, she got a big booty on her. She unfortunately don't move that quickly. We'll start installing devices and things of that nature that make her a little bit more reliable further on down the line. But for right now, what we really need to do is we need to set our harvesters to get on out here and start harvesting off of some of these carbonaceous asteroids. I don't know about you, but for me personally, if the asteroids are not carbonaceous, I don't even want to see them inside my sightline, okay? If they're silicate, nah man, forget those things right there. If they're felsic, nope, don't care about that, get them out of my face line. They better be carbonaceous or nothing else. And as you can see, our little spider bots are over here and they're gathering from the enemy. One thing I've actually really liked about this game during the hour and a half or so that I've played prior to the recording of this video is that everything seems to be animated in a very attractive way. So like your little industrial bots, they've got like a little bitey mouth on the back of them and they come out here and they just chew on asteroids. When you send out your fighters to go skirmish with enemy forces, they actually dogfight. Like this is not your standard RTS where your units just like rock up and sit there and don't animate and like fire at each other and basically the game just ticks damage on everything. No, dude, they've got like dodge stats and stuff. So like if 15 fighters are fighting the other 15 fighters from the enemy, like they'll swirl around and you don't honestly know who's gonna win because they're evading each other. And I was watching only bullets that hit actually do damage, and they actually do damage in real time, which I'm wondering how that's gonna affect performance as the game gets like higher and higher unit counts. But for right now, it does give the game a very, very attractive vibe. And so while these guys are harvesting, we've started out with about 1,000 resources. We're gonna need to start building out our main battle fleet over here, and so we'll go on in and we'll start thinking about building up some modules here, which you can find on this panel. I have found the game to have a UI that's kind of a bear. It definitely takes over the screen, and it definitely takes up a lot of space. There's a lot of buttons, there's a lot of hotkeys. This is one of those games that you're definitely gonna have to dedicate a couple of hours to before you get like the full feeling that you're competent when you're moving units around and playing with stuff. But for the moment, what I would like to do is I'd like to expand the back end on this craft right here. I don't know if it's gonna look attractive, but it's what I'm gonna do either way. So let's make that big back end even better fat bottom ships. That's what I'm trying to have out. It didn't rhyme, you know, and I know you guys expected me to go like Freddie Mercury with it, but like, I don't know, dude. It's Friday at like 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm tapped out for right now. When constructing, if you take a look down here, there's little actuator arms that come out of the ship and start building stuff up, and I actually kind of like the way it looks like scrap metal being pierced together, or pieced together, or welded together until the final texture comes through, and so they've got that detail there, which is very, very nice to look at. And so this back end, I'm probably going to reserve it mostly for thrusters, and I'm probably going to reserve it mostly for things that I don't want to get shot. So like the front of the ship is probably going to have a lot of armor and whatnot. But the back of the ship, I'll probably have that be a bunch of supplementary stuff that makes us move faster, that makes us have better radar, things of that nature that you'd like to keep protected from flying bullets, because when I play this game, it seems like I always end up getting shot at by flying bullets. I think it might also be a good idea if we started building a couple more, like, scavengers. So if I could get maybe 5 more scavengers. I don't know if I'm overdoing it on the amount of scavengers that I'm pumping out, but I would like to have more of them. Unfortunately, it was very expensive for me to construct all of these little scavengers, but it should expand out the amount of resources that we're getting as we go along, which you can see denoted up in the top left of the screen. We've also almost completed all of our module construction, but I think we're going to have to wait for them to drop off some more resources before it gets done. So we just got a notification that unfortunately there are pirates in the system, and they are going to come hunting at me. This game never stops talking, by the way, so I'm just going to turn the volume down in the back. There is constant chatter inside this game just going on. What I would like to do, though, is let's build a tower right there. That'll, I think, work pretty well because I'm going to need to put in a command station at some point, and the command station is, like, really, really big and beefy, so if you don't have it, like, elevated on top of something, unfortunately, it tends to, like, not fit anywhere else, and so I've learned this lesson the hard way. In the meantime, what we also need to do is we need to start getting engines into play, and so I'll probably go with 4 thrusters like so. It's going to get very expensive on resources, but this will allow our ship to move a little bit faster and be a little bit more wieldy, although at the end of the day, it's always going to be a little bit like piloting a brick. And just like that, we've got our engines constructed and we are ready to rock. Now, what we really need to do at this point is that we need to start preparing ourselves for combat. That's going to be one of those things that's sort of unavoidable as it stands right now. And so we need to start making some hangars and some fleets that'll actually come through and, like, battle for us. Are you guys going back out right now? Or are you guys being lazy? I think they're waiting in line to see who gets to drop off resources. I should probably do something about that, too. I suppose I've got a side slot right there. Let's go ahead and... Is there like a resource drop point? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Give me 2 research... Yeah, give me 2 of those resource drop points right there. That way all of our guys aren't like waiting in line for everybody to slowly drop off all their Tiberium. I think that'll work out pretty well. And then the opposite side, I think what I'd like to do is we go with basic modules or we can angle our modules. I'll probably... go with basics for right now. I don't want to get too hyped and crazy with what it is that I'm trying to do. This is going to get expensive, though, and so we'll go... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Uh-oh.
And is attacking with fast recon fighters. Defend the command center.
Okay, well, we're coming under attack right now. Luckily, our space station comes equipped with a very, very nice... defense package. It's got like autocannons and stuff all over it, so we'll probably be okay. I need that to go away because I wanted this to be like a solid wall of these modules right here. And while the modules are being built, so they're getting the drop-off points over here, hopefully those function. Yeah, it looks like they do. Our little harvesters are coming into dock with them. Okay, so we're probably going to need a few more of those as well in order to make this all function smoothly. But resources seem solid. Let's get the basics of a defense fleet up. All I can make right now are Rangers. They're not very good, but they'll do. So we'll throw like, I don't know, like 5 of those into production real fast, and then I'll try to hotkey them in just a minute. That way I remember what key my fleet's going to be on. The enemy's going to be a while before they get here. They've got to travel across the entire system, and they don't have, like, sublight systems or anything just yet. You can research those later on down the line. But at the moment, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. And then from there, we're going to want to have a command bridge, so we'll put that up at the top right there, although it is kind of goofy looking, I guess, but it'll have to do. And then we'll figure out, like, what kind of weapons and stuff we want to put on here as well. The game does do pretty well with high-definition textures, too, like with these smaller ships that are like the size... It's a booster with an apartment attached to it, okay? That's all that this ship is, and maybe like one little machine gun. But if you look at it, they do stay pretty tight as far as, like, the textures go as you're zooming in on these little guys. Like, they do look a lot better, and then... as you zoom out, they just become kind of a blur by comparison to the size of our overall station. Enemy attacks on its way in. Hopefully these guys can hold them off for a little bit while I get something better prepared. Gentlemen, it is time for us to wage war. Go forth, drink the blood of the enemy. I want to taste their zero-G flesh. Tear, rip, destroy. Their ships are a little bit bigger than our ships, but he is catching shots right here every now and again. Oh, this little guy's getting chewed on right now. Oh, no, dude. Protect him! Protect him! Okay, we're going to need to get some hangars and stuff up pretty soon. You're going to want to keep an eye on your crew counts. That's what's going to determine how many ships you can actually deploy. If you look, it'll tell you on each of the little ships over there how much they cost you in order to get them fielded. And so it looks like our shields are taking a little bit of damage. Some of them are just, like, ignoring our fighters and coming after us. Ooh, that one got hit pretty good right there. I saw him take some damage. Yeah, knock him out of the sky, boys. Looks like they're flying like drop pods that just have like a gun attached to them. Given the fact that they're pirates, I guess that makes sense. But like, yeah, get a few more rangers out there. Get them all ready to fight. Like, just get them into the scrum. We're going to try to make up for the lack of technology that we have with just sheer numbers at this point. Might be a little tiny bit more effective. One thing I really like is if you look at this gun turret that's on our station, it's on a little rail and it like rotates around on like a tram system. I don't know, there's so many interesting little details with this title. Oh, we got one. Was that one of mine or was that one of theirs?
We need to build additional warehouses or resource containers.
Yeah, I'll get on that shortly. Like, I haven't decided where my warehouses are going to go just yet, and so I'm still kind of like playing around with it. I think all of our construction is done, so what I'd really like to have is some facilities. So let's get, no, not a lighthouse. Let's get a light facility. And I think what I'd like to do is, I guess I can slot it in right there. That's not a terrible spot for it. Yeah, give me a light facility right there. It's going to be expensive, but it'll allow us to get strikers into the fray. There's also little upgrades you can buy for each of these ships that make them do different stuff. So like on the Ranger, because they're a scout ship, you can turn them into suicide bombers. Like you can pack their entire hold with like kamikaze explosives so that when they get low on health, they just dive bomb into the enemy, crash into them, and blow up and take them out. Which honestly, I respect your dedication to the craft of death if you're willing to do that. Like, I'm like, fair enough. That's a level of spite that I can respect. The other thing that I think we're going to need is, like, if we go to utilities, I think we're going to require a research center, I think is going to be vital here. So we'll put a research center right there. And it's kind of crazy how your ship just kind of, like, grows over time, isn't it? Are my scouts doing okay over here? Like, are they having a good time or are they having, like, a bad time? Like, how many scouts do I have? I do not want you in the one group. I just want you guys in the one group. There we go. How many enemy fighters are left? I kind of like how a skirmish in this game, though, it takes a little bit of time. Like, I like the fact that this is not meant to be a fast-paced RTS. It's meant to be a game where you're kind of, like, reveling in the star battles, and one can only imagine what the game's going to look like. Once we've got, like, hundreds of units fielded, it's got to get, like, wild and crazy. Are you guys done with that hangar yet? You guys need to get done with that hangar. I need that hangar, like, right this second. Hey, there goes one right there. Nice little explosion. You love to see it. Have we seriously only killed like 2 of these guys? How many of my ships are here and how are they doing? They're doing fine. None of them have taken like any damage. You can also set up how you want them to fight. So you can set up their formations. You can tell them to do flybys. You can tell them to chase. You can tell them to orbit. You can tell them what side to attack from. I don't know how useful that's all going to be tactically as the game gets more and more complex. For a game without push pause, I'm not really too sure. But like, hey, you know, the option is there, so obviously it's being taken into account for the overall gameplay that the game is trying to cultivate. The enemy wants to trade. We propose a ceasefire. Transfer us 1,000 rubles, and we will suspend all further attacks for a limited time, maintaining only current minor operations. Refuse and face the consequences. No? I'm not going to trade with you. You're attacking me right now. You're firing guns at me, and I'm winning. You've lost like 50% of your forces. I have lost nothing. What bargaining chip do you think you have right now, pirate? Nobody becomes a pirate because they're educated economically or tactically, man. I'm trying to tell you. Well, we got another wave of enemies coming on in, so I suppose we'll deal with them as it goes along. I need to get my battle fleet up and running, though, and we need to get some research going. So we've got a suppressive fire platform right there. Let's think about weapons. Let's get a turret base right there. And we'll see if we can get a new gun. I should be able to, if I select over here, we should be able to make strikers now, I think. So yeah, we've got strikers that'll come out of here. And then what was that other thing that we had over there? Like, it looked like something else lit up for a second. But anyways, give me like, I don't know, dude. Give me a bunch of strikers, all right? We've got plenty of crew capacity left. Give me all the strikers in the world. And then from there, give me another autocannon turret that like fires from right there. Just put something up that'll actually give the enemy some trouble, if you could, please. They keep bugging me about the storage capacity of my resources, so in order to get them to stop saying it over and over and over again, I think it might not be the worst idea to start, like, putting in some of these bad boys over here, but I don't want to block off my building spots on this side and leave myself, like, everything has to be symmetrical, man, or I'm going to lose it. I'd prefer to keep, like, the tops and the fronts kind of like, I don't know, wheeled out. Yeah, I guess we can go one right there.
Striker, ready. Autocannon turret constructed.
And then as far as the frame is concerned, let's go ahead and expand this guy out, I suppose. Just like we did on the other side. There we go. Keep it nice and symmetrical. We are rocking right up on the enemy right now. I managed to get like 6 strikers out before they got here. Everybody get on in there, and actually, let's try to do something different this time. Everybody go into chase mode. I want you to chase people down and focus them down. That's what I want you to do the entire time. He's taking a little bit of damage right there. How are we looking? Our autocannon is bumping, so I'm glad to see our little AA gun is actually firing at the enemy right there. They can taste that 40mm fire. That's what they can taste. Looks like they're whittling them down pretty good, and it doesn't look like they're taking that much damage. Well, they are taking some return fire, but, like, let them do their thing. Maybe it'll work out. Yeah, get them all nice and shot up. I want to see those damage numbers fly. I don't know that the autocannon is actually dealing a lot of damage right now. But focus fire seems to be working. These guys are a little bit heavier than what we have, though. Like, they're taking a lot of gunfire. You will not crush my defenses. I will crush your defense. I'll crush your mom's defenses. You better get out of my face. This fleet ready to roll out here. Okay, orbit the enemy. Let's see how that works out. Because I think being non-evasive is probably causing us problems here. Yeah, I like to see those engines flare out. Let's watch them die. How are we doing on these modules over here? These modules moving along? They're moving. They're trying. They're attempting to get there. I don't know if I should put more thrusters back here or what I should do. Honestly, we haven't even checked out our top speed yet just to see what happens. The autocannon's hitting some shots, but it's not moving the health bar, so I'm guessing these are like a density or volume kind of weapon. It's anti-armor. Okay, what anti-aircraft stuff do we have? Let's see, like, what kind of anti-aircraft things can occur over here. A point defense turret. Yeah, that probably would have been a better choice. How do I get that? It requires Gatling gun? Let's go to the research tab and, like, yeah, let's get a Gatling gun research going. Can I queue these up? I would also like to have laser cannons, and I would like to have kinetic weapons. That all sounds delicious, because I may actually delete this guy right here and then replace him with flat guns, maybe. How are you guys doing? We still haven't lost anybody, so that's good. Like, nobody from our wing has actually fallen off, and it looks like we're dominating in combat right now. These dudes are getting absolutely dookied on. Okay, so all of our modules are done. Gatling gun's not going to be done for a minute. Oof, there's different ones too? Oh my god, there's so many researches, bro. Maybe I was wrong about not enough content. Maybe 1v1 skirmish will do it for a little bit until they get more in there. I was kind of like a doubting Thomas until I saw this list of stuff that I could build. Okay, yeah, we are under enemy fire. That is a true statement. Luckily, I don't think that their little tiny punk-ass machine guns can actually damage the reckless imperial might that is our production engine. So, like, I think we'll be okay right there. That increased me up to 5,000 when I put that block in there. Okay. I think I can probably live with that. We're not symmetrical anymore, but, like, what can you do? Take me back over to modules and give me another storage module up here while we wait. I'm trying to get this all nice and sorted out. We haven't built any sensor towers yet either. Sensor tower won't fit right there, so I suppose we'll go like sensor tower right there. We're probably going to need that. I feel like this thing probably needs sensors of some kind. We've also got crew quarters that we can kind of like spackle around. I'd prefer to keep the crew quarters like on the back of the ship though. So it looks like we've only got 2 sensor blips left from the enemy. I don't know, they get like a little flag on them. Like maybe that's like how many kills their squad has gotten or how many waves their squad has held off. Interesting. They get a little skull every now and again when they kill off guys. Maybe it's veterancy of some kind. We're probably going to need power generation at some point. That would also probably be another good thing for us to acquire. Let's maybe just keep building this bad boy up and giving ourselves more surfaces that we can potentially like build atop of. I'm blocking off my machine gun right here, but I'm sort of okay with it because I want to get more flat guns firing. Research-wise, it looks like we're ready to start putting in the flat guns. A dual angular module. I sort of dig that. Can that go in like that right there? Oh, that might be kind of spicy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get doubles right there. You can also get like rotator modules that'll make these spin and whatnot and have like, I don't know, their own personal drift. You guys come back over here and like, if you guys could do that for me, that'd be great. And then just flip around and get ready for the enemy like so. There you go. Be ready, like stay ready. Although it looks like some of my guys, they do have another separate little meter on there. I wonder what the separate little meter is. Oh, I'm at crew capacity right now. I was gonna say, everything ground to a halt, and I am no longer producing. It is not looking great right now. We need to figure out ways that we can get solar panels going out here. It looks like they take up kind of like a two-space grid, which is kind of a bummer. And they're gonna block off my ability. Okay, that's fine. I get what I've got to do now. We might need a few more towers in order to make this work. I mean, I suppose I can just send people to go live next to the reactor on the back of the ship. It's probably not healthy. I've got a distinctive vibe that that's probably going to have long-term health effects, but like, you know, they can live next to the thruster. What's a little bit of, you know, random incinerated sediment inside your breathing apparatus? With that all finished up, I actually need to put down some more turret bases. So give me a turret base right there. I need to redeploy these frames over here because I wasn't paying attention properly. And as it turns out, frames in this game actually need to be crewed. And so we may actually need to be more efficient other than just like spamming modules. Okay, that's fine. I'll make a few more guys, and I think we should be able to weather the storm, although I think maybe like a larger facility with vehicles that can potentially... A heavy facility. It'll manufacture warships. How big is it? Pretty big, all things considered. Yeah, it's a pretty chunky boy. It's going to take up some space. Okay, let's keep it vertical over there. I don't know what that's going to set me back or cost me, but like hopefully it ends up being good. As far as weapons go, we can get a point defense turret over there right now. Leave that bucking at the enemy as much as possible. Resources are dropping off right now, as well as our energy. I totally forgot about our solar panel situation. Solar panels, can I get a couple of you? Yeah, let's get a solar panel right there. Maybe like a solar panel right there. I'll extend things out the way that I need to extend them as time goes along. And look at that, the sun finally came up too. Where's our light source coming from? There it is. I was gonna say, dude, it's been dark for a little bit. Maybe we've got enough resources, so I think maybe throw some strikers at the problem. We need wing weapons, and we need laser cannons. Okay. Research. How do I get wing weapons? There we go. Our solar panels just kicked in, so our energy's coming back right now. That should be helpful to make this thing work a little bit better. Did we ever get that point defense gun up? We did. We got the point defense gun up. That's good. All right, so why have we stalled out on construction down here? Like, what has gone wrong? Oh, it only does like one building at a time, and it's still working on the point defense turret, I think. Yeah, the point defense turret isn't quite done yet. Okay, well, once it is done, continue with your construction. We've got all of our strikers ready to rock. Get everyone in here that we possibly can. It looks like they've got 15 guys, and we've got like 20. But we've got extra turrets and things, too, so we should be okay-ish, I think. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. They are scrambling to combat right now. That little guy's getting mag-dumped. He's having a terrible day. Okay, well, open fire on everything you possibly can. Find somebody and murder him.
Striker, ready?
I thought he was taking fire right there. What are they even shooting at? They're shooting at somebody. Go ahead and move the fleet forward a little bit.
Structural module constructed. Striker.
Yeah, move you over to there. And maybe actually lower altitude. I'm still getting the hang of, like, adjusting my altitude. There we go. Inside 3 space, man. When it comes to these kinds of RTSs that happen in 6 degrees of freedom, like, learning to, like, use the controls and how to position your guys where you want them to position is always kind of a headache. There we go. Point defense guns firing. Let's bring everything to bear against these guys. I would really prefer not to lose any ships right now, if I can help it.
Striker ready.
Hey, bringing the guns in helped. There we go. Splash 1. But yeah, this is Era 1, dude. Interesting little game. I will definitely be keeping a close eye on it. It seems like there's a lot of things to research and play around with in the greater context of the entire game. But as of right now, it's a $30 game that only has like a skirmish mode. If that sounds like something you want to play around with and building your own modular base and like scrumming with the enemy and throwing down, by all means go for it. But for me personally, I'll probably wait till they get a campaign in there. The campaign tends to be a selling deal for me. Like, it's a make it or break it deal for me. I like having a campaign to whittle my way through and a little bit of narrative and stuff to bring me into the universe. Man, that guy's getting chewed on right there. Our fleets seem to be okay. We haven't lost any guys yet. Oh, they eating it right here. They eating it right here. Yup, keep the guns on. I don't think the autocannon actually damages those little guys. We may be in a better position to actually replace the autocannon with another flat gun, maybe. I don't know. Kind of hard to say. Give me another point defense turret. Right there and right there. I don't even know if we need the turret base in order to make this whole thing work. It's kind of hard to tell. It is definitely doing the lion's share of damage, though. Like, that point defense turret is really hurting the enemy at the moment. Like, it's lighting them up. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with a new sci-fi sort of sandboxy game called Era 1. Tomorrow, we'll be playing around with something else. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that's about all I got for you, folks.